We're going to start tonight with some of the awards that the kids did earn. And again, I want to really emphasize that statement that they are the students' awards because they really worked for those awards. They prepared a lot of hours, a lot of effort went into this, and it not only from the student level, but we have professionals come in to assist. We had certainly community backing and support. And one of these first awards is for our marching band percussion, which we've never competed in before. So this was a little trepidatious on our part to do a national festival. We have Allie Mitchell presenting our national runner-up gold trophy award for the marching percussion performance on the football field. It was nice to come in second at nationals. Allie's going to be one of our percussion leaders next year, and I know she shares a lot of pride in that award. Chris Muner, one of our band directors here, is heading up our percussion units. He took the percussion section to Decorah this last fall to do our drumline clinic. He's starting to organize an Onalaska drumline concept, and this is the first fruits of his labors. The percussion kids are very, very excited about it. It gives our students a lot of challenge, and we're really glad to bring home a first runner-up at nationals with our percussion ensemble. One of the second awards we're going to talk about is the marching band competition, and this was something that we really prepared for, and the students really worked hard for over a year out. Again, we're really pleased to get a gold trophy award, and that's the highest for Division I honor, just like they did in the percussion ensemble. Out of all the bands that competed on the field for the field show competition, they came in second, so we were first runner-up in terms of the field show at the national level also. But what was really neat about the field show experience was that it involved so many areas of Onalaska High School. It was not just the marching band and the color guard batons, which you traditionally see on the marching field. We also had a live string orchestra in our pit. We had vocal soloists singing songs throughout the field show. It became a real, and the dance team, obviously, a national level dance team with us, so it became a community performance event. One of the neat things that happened in Tampa that we were able to carry that was generated here in Onalaska, we had elementary nights at our field show. So we had Irving Perch at one night, Northern Hills at one night, Eagle Bluff at one night, and those students came and did a parachute involvement in our show at home. And I thought that spoke well for the message of we are the world, we are the children. And that we're going to miss some of that element as we went to nationals at the Tampa Bay. But we partnered up with the Tampa Bay Down Syndrome organization, and they graciously accepted us into their festival under those guidelines. 35 Down syndrome children joined us on the field in competition. Delightful experience, wonderful people. We would try to give these kids a high five and tell them they did a great job, and they refused. They would go, no, hug. They were just so full of joy and just so full of passion and love. They were so excited. Their parents said that 2 weeks before the band was to get to Tampa, every day was like Christmas. Is the band here yet? Is the band here today? Is the band going to be here tomorrow? They were so excited that the Onalaska band from Wisconsin was coming to share some time with them in Tampa Bay and that they could compete in the national festival. Those 35 kids prepared 200 gift bags for our Onalaska group. Just a tremendous amount of work and effort, but we got gift bags full of candy, full of seashells, full of some really nice things from Florida. And if you could, Riley, we got wind that they were doing this because we had great communication with their leadership. And so our students prepared gift bags for them as well. And so we're going to present some of these. We don't have a lot left, but we'll present some to the board. So we took some things from Wisconsin down with us to present to our Down syndrome children. Of course, they were working on We Are the World with us, so we have a little globe of the earth, a little ball. We have some cow pie candy. There's a cheddar head straw cap. So different elements that we thought they would enjoy, that they would recognize that come from the Cheesehead State. We also presented them with a t-shirt, and Riley, if you could present the t-shirt to our high school administrator. Part of our concept of joining with another group is that we are marching together. And so we presented a shirt to the Down Syndrome Society, and every one of their students received this Onalaska purple t-shirt that says Marching Together, and has both their Down syndrome emblem and the Onalaska High School Marching Band emblem, because we really felt it was an important message that we were in this together and that we're marching together for Down syndrome. They also were presented with a Onalaska baseball cap that was donated by our choir department, so when they struck the field with the marching band, they had their Onalaska purple hat and t-shirt on. They looked just fabulous. The next award I'd like to present is our jazz band. Now, this is the first year that I've had the pleasure of conducting our high school jazz band, and it's been a terrific experience. We have so many talented and extraordinary musicians. Andrew Harlan is presenting our jazz award, which is a Division I rating gold, and it was first place in our division, which means we beat out every other jazz band in our division. Andrew Harlan himself, a string bass player, was recognized at the national level as the outstanding national jazz soloist. He was featured on a jazz. A number selected just for him by Charlie Mingus. You better get hit in your soul, and he really did. He hit their souls with his expertise. And I'm going to turn this over right now to our orchestra director, who traveled with us in the orchestra. This is Linda Levi.
Thank you. Our orchestra, this is the first time our orchestra has competed outside of our state. This was a great experience. I thank Dawson for asking us and really letting me know that this was going to be a quality experience for them, and boy, was it ever. We had 3 groups in our division, and we won first rating with a gold, which means it's the highest scoring division in the first rating, so it's gold. Some of the comments they had were, boy, you're a small but mighty group. The soloists were outstanding throughout. We had solos in every one of our pieces. Christina was one of the soloists. She had extensive solos, and she worked with me many, many extra hours learning those solos and leading the orchestra and just having a wonderful, wonderful time.
I think it was so neat to go to a national festival, and we've done this before with other groups, but never to this extent, where we participated at such a high level, and I think that really speaks well for this community, certainly for the music program, and certainly the students and parents, that they could participate in so many events and yet do so well in all of those events. It was truly a tremendous experience. We're going to talk about our parade band next. We kind of stepped outside the box this year and tried a vocal solo with our parade unit on the Tune Sweet Caroline, with the idea in mind that we'd be taking it to Tampa. We had been to Tampa before for the Outback Bowl event, where we competed as a jazz group and as a parade band, and so we knew this parade was very, very competitive. There were 18 other bands in the parade from across the country, and a lot of good groups. Tori Waters here is the head of our color guard unit, and obviously a very important part of that group. What was really neat in the parade band competition, besides judging the band and giving division ratings, they also list out of every band a band front award, which is what she walked around. So out of every band there, no matter the division, they picked the top band that presented the best color guard. In that case, it was also a dance team and batons, and the banner, which was the orchestra students, carried our Onalaska banner. So we were well represented, and those kids helped earn the best band front on the entire New Year's Eve parade in Tampa. So congratulations to our band auxiliary people. In the parade in our division, we won a gold trophy, the highest rating, and a first in our division, which means in Division II, we were ranked the highest band in that parade. And our junior drum major, Emily Bergman, is going to bring that trophy around. As I mentioned, there are 18 different bands. The divisions are ranked according to school enrollment. If you have 600 students or less, that's Division I. If you have less than 1,200, that's Division II, which we are in because we had a little over 800 students. And then they also have a category of over 1,200. There are a number of bands in Division III as well. And again, out of all those divisions, we have the best band front. And out of all those divisions, we also won the grand champion at the Outback Bowl Parade. This is our second grand champion in that. This is called the Battle of the Bands, which our baton twirlers are Jessica and Katie are bringing around. And then our senior drum major, Riley Mason, is bringing about the grand champion parade. It was very special because, as I mentioned, there's a lot of great competition. We had bands from Louisiana and Ohio and Illinois and South Carolina, some great groups. And we're very pleased to be in a great competition. But one of the comments that one of the judges made after the parade, I think, holds special meaning, and they've had the Outback Bowl Parade for 20 years. And out of those 20 years, they've had the same judging consortium. They've been able to get the same judges to come back to judge. And one of the judges made the comment that over the past 20 years, he felt that this was the best band he had ever seen. So not only did they win grand champion out of these 18, they also beat over 380 bands from the last 20 years. So I feel very proud of that. The last word I've saved is our concert band. It's a Division II. We were ranked first in our division. Again, a gold award. We're really pleased that everything we competed in, we got the top honor of gold, because that bespeaks the quality of the program. And Kitty Anderson is our concert master. She's our first chair clarinet, and she's the one that helps tune us up before every performance. And she's carrying our first place Division II gold award. The concert band also competed and earned the Grand Champion Award at the Outback World Concert Festival against all the division bands that were in concert band competition. And Allie Mitchell's carrying this award. Allie played chimes on our second number, which is a Bach chorale. And what was really neat is the judge came up to the stage, he made special note of Allie's contribution, because it's a very difficult thing to play and play well. And the first words out of his mouth on the stage were, "Who played the chimes?" And she stood up and he said, "You are a virtuoso chimes player." And it happened to come from the mouth of Will Rapp, and Dr. Rapp is probably one of the leading international percussion teachers in the world. He knows what he's speaking about, and he knows how difficult it is to play the chimes that well. And for him to call her a virtuoso on that stage, I think it made all of us proud. That number was written or composed or arranged by Dr. James Croft, and we took it to the National Festival because Dr. Croft was a band director in Oshkosh, Wisconsin for many years. And after he had done his high school career, he was hired by Florida State and spent the rest of his tenure in Florida State. So he traveled from Wisconsin to Florida. So we thought, since we're going from Wisconsin to Florida, plus we have the cultural heritage of a German chorale in this area, that would be a great thing to bring with us. Unknown to us at the time, because we had planned this way in advance, Dr. James Croft passed away in September. And so it had extra special meaning that this composer that we were performing had just recently passed away, and we were willing and able to share in memoriam this great work that he had done. And what made this piece unusual is that in the middle of the piece, the band stops playing and they sing a four-part Bach chorale, a cappella. And again, we've had great help with this community. Richard Moses, our fabulous choral teacher, spent a lot of time with our kids. The night before we left, Paul Galsvik came in and gave us a clinic on the song. Dr. Will Rapp, it happened to be that James Croft was one of his dearest friends. And so on his critique, he wrote, "In the middle of critiquing, I had to put my pen down because the tears were coming too fast." He said, "Your high school band sings better than most high school choirs." He said, "I want you to know that Dr. James Croft is up in heaven smiling right now." So precious comments, great memories. It's great to win grand champions because that speaks well for the district and the community. But even more so, it's great to hear comments about how our kids leapt to their feet when they did not earn a grand champion award for their field show. This great band from Marion, Ohio had won the field show competition, which our kids really, really wanted and worked hard for. They spent hours at the lacrosse center before we left practicing for that field show in hopes that they could get grand champion. But even through that disappointment, they knew that they had seen a grand champion, and they respected that, so they leapt to their feet and applauded that group. And those are the things that really I am so very proud of, that our kids are gracious winners, but they're even more gracious losers. They value and respect what other people do, and that speaks well for how they've been taught and how they've been raised by this community and their parents. We appreciate the fact that you let us go on these kinds of trips. There's so many more things that these kids can learn outside of these classroom walls, and you value that, and you allow us to do that. So we thank this Board of Education for allowing us to take this trip. It will hold memories of a lifetime, and I think it really represented you and your school district and your community.